What's in your cup this afternoon?
Well, I love that idea. And so my cup is keep calm and drink tea, but I drink iced tea. I'm a Southern girl.
Oh, okay.
So I have my iced tea. But, I really thought about, and, right now my cup runneth over
Mm,
because I have so many things in my cup. First of all, the people, and then their health. As a nurse, I worry about the
mhm.
health, jobs, housing, the economy, public safety.
So
Um,
much.
yeah, but I think you can handle all of that. But that's pretty much people is what my cup's full of.
All right. You served Ward 6 for many years, and now you want to run for mayor of Fort
Right,
Myers.
right.
And is it because of your cup that runneth over that you want to run, or why exactly?
Well, that's part of it. But, I was a healthcare executive for over 40 something years. I ran Lee Memorial. That's how I ended up here from Charlotte, North Carolina. And, Lee Memorial is a very unique hospital, very different from all the other hospitals in the system, with a trauma center, a lot of indigent care. A lot of mental health. I started all the mental health programs that the health system has now, hired psychiatrists, so I have the experience, first of all, of being a councilwoman for 5 years. So learning government, which is very different from the other enterprises. And then, my experience as a businesswoman. I ran a $200 million budget hospital, had over 1,000 employees. Um, and that's why I ran for council, is because I looked and I thought, you know what, they need some business people there. They need some people that have run things in this community. And I think I've helped the mayor and the council. I think they've helped me. They have taught me, because they have all been there longer than me, except for
Sure.
Kevin and Terrell, Terrell and I came at the same time, but I've learned a lot, and I feel like they've benefited from my business skills and my business expertise. And I have a lot more to do. I was going to run for Ward 6 again, and then when the mayor decided to run for Congress, he encouraged me, and a lot of other people did. And I said, you know what? I want to do that role because I see it differently. And so that's why I'm running.
Okay, so then what would be your first line of duty if you were to become mayor?
Well, the first thing is I do monthly meetings out in Ward 6, and I started that 5 years ago, and they love it because there's always a face to talk to, and they believe that they get a better service from the city because they have that connection. And we connect by email. I do a daily email, well, twice a day during this COVID
Mm.
because there's so much going on. And so I would start by doing the same thing in the other neighborhoods, doing monthly meetings. Each neighborhood is a bit different in our city. And what are your issues in your neighborhood? What is it that you need from the city that you're not getting? And of course, I'm hearing some of that now, which is
Mhm.
really good. But we're not getting that face to face contact because of COVID. It's either Zoom or it's either postcards, mailings, emails. That part of it's really missing. So that'd be the first thing I would do is what's on your mind, what's
Mhm.
in your cup, you know, what is it that you need from me as the mayor?
Okay. Do you hear a lot of that though during council meetings? Do you think you're going to get a more
Oh,
intimate view of that in individual ward monthly meetings?
you hear some of it, particularly when the issue becomes gigantic.
Mhm.
And I think we should be dealing with things before they become gigantic. And one of the things I've been pushing for is utilities in the older neighborhoods, as you've seen, with brown colored water and so forth. So at our budget meetings this week, I pushed really hard to move all these utility projects up in our capital budget. That's where we spend most of our capital dollars anyway. And then I also asked the city manager to provide the council a map that says priority 1 is here on McGregor,
Mm.
priority 2. Then the people can see what the city's doing. And I truly believe I've been successful in Ward 6 because of transparency. And I say that to the city manager and his leaders all the time. even if it's a problem, let's be honest. Let's tell them what the problem is, and then let's tell them what this plan is, or get them to participate in how we're going to fix it.
Very good. So what should voters know about you in addition to your plan of action?
Well, I am a good listener, and I'm also an action individual. I worked with physicians for 45 years, and physicians are very demanding about how they want things to be, and I'm
Sure.
glad if I'm the patient. And so I listen to you and I find out what your problem is and I go for the facts, then you're going to get some action. And it might not always be quite where you wanted it, but usually that will work out if you involve the people and you do action. And in my ward, I do action. So if somebody contacts me with an issue, I immediately on the city phone send that to our city manager. It doesn't matter what time. And I expect usually 24 hours in return. Surely he has time off, not much, but we have that kind of relationship. I don't have to bring it up in an open meeting because he already knows what I expect of him. I like a plan. I like charts. I like to say, okay, 6 months from now, this is going to be resolved. And then people begin to trust you because they know that they'll see that plan and I want to see it ticked off. So I don't think we've done enough of that, and I want more of that. You'll hear me in council lots of times say, where's the plan? I want to see it. I want to know what the steps are. So the same thing with utilities. We have got to resolve some of these spillages into the river. That bothers me immensely. And I know for every problem, there are solutions. And so I'll be working hard on that. I think we still have a lot of work to do.
But you also want to cut taxes.
Oh, I do. But you know what? We have been so strong financially as the city. And I'll point out some things. Number one, we've decreased our taxes for our people, and I ran on that 5 years straight. We did the rollback this year. And I didn't even have to ask, and neither did Fred Burson. We're usually the first to say, are we going to do the rollback? So, 796 is the lowest the taxes in Fort Myers have been since way before the recession. We were the highest tax city when I ran in the state of Florida for the size of city we are. That bothered me, and I heard that from a lot of our people. Plus our water assessments and all our assessments were high. And then we wonder, why do people not want to live in the city? Why do only 100 of our 1,000 employees live in the city? Why are the nurses that I had not able to live in the city? That's going to be a big emphasis for me as mayor. I think it's great to be an ambassador and spokesman for the city, but I think the real work needs to be housing, jobs, which I've worked very hard on economically. That's why I think we're so strong right now is we've continued during this COVID to develop, bring new companies in and so forth. Had a little slowdown, in April and May, but it's picked back up significantly. So I want to concentrate on housing. I want to concentrate on homelessness. I'm part of the Homeless Coalition. We need to be doing more. Now, there are people who don't want to get off the street, that. But we need our mental health infrastructure to support, because most of the folks that are staying on the street have other issues also, drug addiction, mental health. I'm getting one of the first homes, apartment complexes on Winkler. In fact, Fox did a story on that. You can't put people, and I'm not talking about people that have just lost their jobs and are having a hard time paying rent. I'm talking about people that have chronically been on the streets. You can't put them in housing without management. So Castle Group is a group that manages, addiction, mental health, people coming out of prison. So that's going to be a huge emphasis with me. I think the mayor should be leading that for their city. So because I have that background, mental health background, homelessness, housing, we've got some good groups working on this. And, the city's going to put $1.5 million in a trust fund. And that may not seem like much, but it's a start, and we have to start somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And the Southwest Florida Foundation, Community Foundation, is going to be working with that on us. I'm big into partnerships because I believe alone you can't do anything, but together we're better.
Mm-hmm.
And so the city has developed a lot more partnerships with industry and business, foundations, and so forth. So I didn't know the Board of Realtors has a foundation for housing, and they're getting ready to start something out in Lehigh
Oh,
for working individuals.
okay.
So I'm excited about that. And
That's great.
if I'm not elected mayor, I'll continue that journey in another way with the private groups out in the area.
What would we be surprised to know about you then?
I'm a college football freak.
Oh, okay.
I'm about to die. I hadn't had time today, but I saw something about ACC has a plan. I grew up and I had a brother and father that were big golfers, and my son was ice hockey player and football player, and I love college football. I think it's still the pure sport,
Yeah.
that you don't get into all the things that are out there commercially. And I'm particularly, now the people who know me know this, Bob Hemshoot, the big LSU fans, I'm a big LSU fan.
Oh, okay. You must have been very happy then this
Yep,
past season.
my son went to LSU. He lives in Mississippi. And so, I love college football. It takes away all the stress I have. And I
Yeah.
love all colleges, not just LSU, but
Okay.
yep.
All right, fun. So if I see the purple and gold flags, I'll know that you've been
Oh, you'll
around.
know it's me. Right, right. Go Tigers.
um, and finally, I just want to, close out by talking about. It seems like we're at the point that old guard at City Hall is about. There's a turnover. There's something in the air,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And you were responsible for independently launching that free report, and really the cover up the allegations of malfeasance or corruption
right.
within even the little departments within the city. How I'm going to just broad paint this, but
Yeah.
how do you start really turning over and leading the way to a new future?
Okay. Well, I ran on corruption. Okay. And I'm going to use that word. Some of my colleagues don't use that word. I don't see it any other way. Here I am running for office, 150 homicides, and none have been solved. To me, there's corruption. There's an issue. There's a lack of training, a lack of having the right leadership. I do believe Chief Diggs and the team he's building is the right leadership. I see a very different feel in the community.
Mhm.
And as I'm out talking to the trouble spots in the community, they feel it also. The citizens feel that we are on the move. And, I know we had 3 shootings last week. I think
Mhm.
they were all related. You'll
Mhm.
often find that. And often they're not from here. They come into our city. But I think the chief, they were neglected. Fire department was neglected for equipment, technology, their buildings, training, and numbers. And the recession kind of hit everybody hard, and everybody kind of did a panic mode. Those are the areas, public safety, we should never panic mode in. Okay,
Mhm.
and should we continue to improve? Absolutely. And, I'll often see the chief and I'll say, what do you need from me? And he goes, no, what do you need from me? And I go, no, there's nothing I need from you, but I need to know what you and your men and women in blue need from me. So same thing with the fire. I met with the fire union yesterday. I'm going to be meeting with the police union tomorrow. They saw it. I took my own city council money for the tree line fire station and replaced 20 years of carpet. So some of those things, I think now there's lots of money coming in the capital to continue to improve. I think we've got it now.
Mhm.
And I'm not old guard. I've been there 5 years, and
Right.
I was not going to stay more than one more term because of the fact that I believe new blood needs to come in. And, I'm sure my colleagues disagree with me, but I like new blood. Every time somebody new comes in, when Fred came in, there was new blood. When Lynn Boucher came in temporarily. So you get new ideas and new perspective on what the city's doing. There's going to be no status quo, okay, as far as I'm concerned. We've been cleaning up now for at least since the city manager and I came in. We've been cleaning up. We have more to do. City manager needs to get his assistants in place. That is key. Sometimes he waits too long to choose, because he wants to choose the right person, and he has chosen some of right leadership. Steve Belden with community development, doing an excellent job, hearing good stuff from everybody he's working with out in the community. Has stepped up to help us with the CBDG funds. We weren't using those funds. And I go, why do we have that money sitting there and people need help?
Right.
So we're doing much better in that arena. And as you know, I heard from a lady today, the city is paying her utility bill. She's a school system bus driver. And, she's been without work. She didn't get that $600, because that was very difficult for people. She's finally getting unemployment. But she said the city's helped her with her rent. The city's helped her with her utilities. Those are the things we should be doing. And I push very hard for that, even to help our own employees. We have a fund just to help our own employees as part of this COVID, get back to work and so forth. So I'm a big financial conservative, spend your tax dollars right, but I'm also a social issues leader. And I believe everybody that we bring up helps everybody else. So anyway, I'll do it anyway.
You'll do it anyway.
I have to stay busy. I worked for all my career. I retired in 2010. Wow. That's when I decided to run for office after doing cruising and stuff like that. And I go,
I want to be a public servant.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like you need more energy for this than anything you've done in the past.
Yeah, but that's okay. I'm committed. It's only me. I lost my husband 11 years ago to cancer, and in 5 months, so your whole life just goes. But I had a great marriage, and I made up my mind that I was going to. I've always served as a nurse. I've always served my community, but I was going to step it up. And being an elected official is not easy. People can be really fond of you or really not like you at all, especially over mask.
Right. I don't know how you do it, but it is commendable, and we thank you for
thank you, Jen,
for receiving the call to serve the public.
Yeah,
extraordinary. Councilwoman Anthony, let's hear let's see your cup once more. I want to get a nice little still picture, and it says again.
Oh, it's saying it's backwards. Keep calm and drink tea.
Good message. Well, cheers to you.
Oh, cheers to you. I love yours.